I never heard of this game before Austin Eruption did a video on forgotten and weird PSP games. Now, I am not a fan of the PlayStation Portable, for many reasons, some of which you see repeated in my reviews, such as the awful controls. But I did own a PSP at one point, eventually lost interest in it, and used it as an MP3 player only, instead till 11th grade, and sold it. It was the Darth Vader White Edition that came with Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron. I hated that game then, and I hate it even more now after reviewing it. But anyways, in that Austin Eruption video, he showed Kenka Bancho Badass Rumble. You ran around, beating up goons, and recruiting them in Japan. I was intrigued. It looked like Yakuza meets the gang wars of GTA San Andreas. So I just had to get it and try the game out for myself. Little did I realize what I would end up walking into.
Why, you little?
The plot is you're a Bancho, a delinquent troublemaker who fights people to prove they're the strongest in getting peons after beating other Banchos. You got in trouble with the school and are on your last strike on a school trip. This is your last chance to not get kicked out, let alone in trouble with the police. But who cares? You find out there's other Banchos in the area, so you set out to be the best that ever was. Your father gives you a forced tutorial on how the game mechanics work. You learn the recovery position, how to talk smack and fight, all while he talks about his middle school days. After this, you arrive at the station and get in your first fight. You get your second peon here, as your friend was your first. After you beat Banchos, they give you their cell number to be called when you need backup. But I only could have one follow me at a time. Not sure if I need to get further in the game to get more, or if this is a technical limitation / game balance thing. After your friend boasts out loud, a man comes yammering in. He is with the police, and he warns you about the consequences of being a Bancho. Afterwards, you go to the hotel, and the game opens up. While at first, all you can do is give yourself a name, the name of your school, and the location of the school. Eventually, you'll find clothing stores and barber shops to change your hairstyle / headgear, and of course your outfits. While the appearance doesn't make a difference, some items do offer stat bonuses, such as more inventory space, or being easier to run in sneakers instead of dress shoes. I made my character look like a Moist Critical Anime Edition for a bit before changing him. It was funny to think of Charlie going around Japan beating up other thugs with bitch slaps and headbutts. Once you purchase something or even find the stuff from enemy drops, you can change your appearance and outfit in the hotel room. Here you can change your fighting moves, view your stats, store items and weapons, and more. Also, it's where you save, so be sure to visit quite often. The game is a JRPG still at the end of the day. In fact, you earn skill points over time and can spend them to increase various stats, such as health, attack, defense, speed, and endurance, each being self-explanatory. Endurance just means you can fight / run longer before your heart starts to beat hard and you need to stop to recover. Speed increases your movement / run speed. Level up, earn points, unlock new moves, and do all it takes to be the best Bancho out there in all of Japan.
Break yourself,
The combat is basic and clunky, as to be expected from a PSP game, but also fun and satisfying, which is a weird quadruple mixture. How can something be so basic, clunky, fun, and satisfying at the same time? Oh well. You got a punch, kick, jump, special, and grapple, with a strong punch and strong kick option as well. The combat is like this: square for punch, triangle for kick, circle for jump, circle plus punch gives you a jump kick, grapple enemies plus punch or kick leads to different attacks as well. You have endurance to worry about, health, heart, and spirit. You heal with food to keep your endurance up, just don't do too much at once. For heart, you must not use weapons or lose talk shit encounters, let alone get your ass handed to you. Also, spirit requires you to sit and recharge. Peons can do this as well with you too. It's a way for their health to go back up a bit as well. Health can be permanently decreased through fights and won't restore till you sleep. You have a basic combo system as well, and that's the basis of combat. You get one at first, your friend Yohei. To get more peons, play through the game, and of course be sure to beat up other Banchos. Once defeated, they must abide by peon rules. They're your bitch whenever you need them to help you out in fights. I never needed help, but I thought it would be fun and help spice up the combat to bring people along, and it does. Things are more chaotic when there's multiple bodies flying around and you tag team goons. Friendly fire is a thing, so be careful, especially on higher difficulties, and if your stats are higher than theirs. Yes, they do level up too, so they're not entirely useless. Plus, they can distract the enemy if you need to rest. One can order them in the pause menu to fight, stand back, or dismiss. Sadly though, you can only have one follower at a time. Meanwhile, the enemy can have hordes. Go figure. Something I learned about the game in the first minute playing, when I started to explore the world, was that there was indeed a police system. I saw no one around and there was crates, so of course as a gamer I know that they can be destroyed for loot. Right away I got swarmed by 2 cops. Thankfully, after wrestling myself free of their custody, I ran into a scripted event which saved my ass. Of course, the police won't always notice your actions, but be careful. You never know where they are unless you can see them or their icon is spotted on the minimap. Sometimes you can cheese their view distance and avoid losing a fight or being chased out of the area by the police, which appears to be the only way to actually get away from them. The game features many areas to explore, some of which open up as the game progresses. You can either walk to some or have to use a bus or subway. Either way, it takes time to travel. It also takes time to call in a peon. Should have mentioned that one earlier, oh well. A train gets you there faster, but is more expensive. The bus is the middle ground and is cheaper. Walking is free, but takes the most time. While exploring, you can find present boxes around. These contain items and money or even weapons. This is also the only way to send items back to your hotel inventory when you have no more space on yourself to carry stuff for some reason. You can find shops to get supplies like convenience stores or gift shops. Barbers are for your hairstyles and clothing for your attire. You will also find plenty of goons to fight along the way, and of course, you can avoid them if you want. The gift shop is a common store in a lot of areas. Even the hotel has one in the lobby. Here you can get a basic weapon and plenty of healing items for your health, stamina, and spirit. But with enemies dropping items quite often, it's best to save your money for other stuff, such as changing your hairstyle / color at a barber shop with plenty of Japanese styles and anime styles to choose from. I went with a raggedy blonde hair. These I haven't really found many of. I've only ever found one near the hotel. The hairstyles can also be quite expensive, so be careful when shopping. The clothing ain't that much cheaper either. These are definitely the most expensive parts of the game. Then there's the clothing store, where you can get new masks, glasses, tops, coats, bottoms, and shoes. Different stuff have their pros and cons, like if you don't wear a coat, you may not carry many items. Look at the inventory space stat on clothes that have them to get an idea. Sneakers will help you run around in comparison to the dress shoes you have by default, so might want to get some of those as well. Clothes and hair are expensive, and you'll need to get plenty of money to customize your character. Plus, enemies sometimes do drop clothing and stuff when defeated, so don't worry too much about it. Alright, we're nearing the end, so let's cover the music and style. This is an Atlas game, so you can see the Persona-esque style and tone all around the game. I noticed it right away when starting the game and being reminded of Persona 3 and 4 from the PS2. Also, the music is pretty good too. Nothing memorable, but there is a variety. Finally, we have the time limit. There's a 7-day timer in the game. Depending on what you do during these times will determine your ending. Also, upon beating the game, you can start a new game plus mode and carry over most of your stuff, minus the peons. And I guess that's about it. Time to move on to the score and closing remarks. At the end of the day, while I only got so little into the game, I could say I've seen enough. I've played with all the game has to really offer. There's not much else to it. It's basic, clunky, and yet also fun. I did enjoy my 2 hours of playing. But with any game, I can only play it for so long before I can't play it anymore. I wasn't always like this, but it's probably a thing with aging. You just want to do more. You're not a kid anymore. 10-hour gaming sessions are a thing of the past. So I do recommend Kenka Bancho Badass Rumble, giving it a great score. The technical issues and clunky controls don't really hold it back compared to other PSP games I've played. Anyways, that's it. See ya.